Trump just slammed massive new tariffs on Canada, hitting autos, steel, aluminum, forest products, and more. A lot of people thought this would completely crush the Canadian economy and leave us with no choice but to beg for mercy. But instead, something completely unexpected just happened. Prime Minister Mark Carney stepped up and delivered one of the smartest, most strategic responses we've seen in years. He didn't panic, he didn't cry about it, and he definitely didn't beg. He flipped the entire situation and turned it into a golden opportunity for Canada. In this video, I'm going to break down exactly what Trump's tariffs are doing, how Mark Carney responded with pure genius. If you care about Canada's future, economy, or politics, stick with me till the end, because this is going to give you a whole new perspective. Let's get into it right now. First, let's understand how big this really is. Canada and the United States share the largest trading relationship on the planet. For decades, over 85% of goods moved across the border completely tariff-free. Our industries were deeply integrated. Cars, parts, steel, lumber, everything flowed smoothly, and it benefited both countries. Then the United States changed its policies dramatically. They brought in new strategic tariffs and Section 232 tariffs that are now hurting key Canadian sectors and workers. It created real pain for many families and businesses that relied on that smooth access to the American market. Everyone was watching to see how Canada's new Prime Minister would handle this pressure. Would he fold? Would he fight back aggressively? Mark Carney chose a completely different path, a calm, calculated, and forward-thinking one. And what he said next has everyone talking.
We need to build new trade relationships in order to move from reliance to resilience. And it's truth that Canada has long benefited, and we are very grateful. We have long benefited, we did say thank you, long benefited from our proximity to the world's largest and the world's most dynamic economy. But as the U.S. changes dramatically its policies, and that's the right of the United States, as it changes those policies, many of our former strengths have become our vulnerabilities. To be clear, we still have the best trade deal with the United States. Over 85% of our goods move tariff-free across the border. But with American tariffs, so-called 232 or strategic tariffs on autos, steel, aluminum, forest products, I could go on, but in these so-called strategic areas, those are creating deep challenges for our workers and firms in those industries that until now had been highly integrated with the United States to the benefit of America as well as Canada. And our response begins by reimagining aspects of North American integration. And to be absolutely clear, Canada, like Mexico, Canada remains open to deeper integration, including options for Fortress North America in selected sectors. And to be clear, those offers are on the table. But if that route is not ultimately possible, we will invest heavily in new markets and products.
That polite but ice-cold Canadian line, "We did say thank you," got huge applause for a reason. Carney openly acknowledged that the old relationship helped both sides and that America has every right to change its policies. But then he made it crystal clear that Canada is not going to stay trapped in over-reliance. This is where the genius move begins. Carney's full response is built around one powerful idea: moving in Mexico. He even put the idea of Fortress North America in selected key sectors on the table. That's a serious offer. But, and this is the important part, if deeper integration doesn't work out, Canada is ready to pivot hard and fast. We will invest heavily in new markets. We will reward companies that build, buy, and produce right here in Canada, and we will aggressively build new partnerships all over the world. This is not just talk. Carney is already backing it up with real action. Non-U.S. exports are rising sharply right now, and they are on track to double during this decade. Canada has signed 20 new economic and security agreements across 5 different continents. Big new trade deals with India, ASEAN, and Mercosur are in advanced stages. Foreign investment flowing into Canada is at its highest level in more than 20 years, and it's more than twice the G7 average when you adjust for the size of our economy. These are not small numbers. This is real momentum. On top of that, Carney is pushing hard for strategic autonomy. That means investing hundreds of billions of dollars in defense and security, meeting and exceeding our NATO obligations, securing our own supply chains in critical minerals, artificial intelligence, clean energy, and aerospace. Canada has the natural resources the whole world desperately wants: energy, minerals, talent, rule of law, and a stable political system. Instead of seeing tariffs as a disaster, Carney is treating them as a wake-up call to finally use our full potential. Now, let's talk about why this could mean Trump's tariffs are backfiring. For years, the United States enjoyed a very close, integrated partner right next door that supplied reliable resources, auto parts, and energy. By putting up these barriers, they risk pushing Canada to accelerate its independence faster than ever before. Canada is now actively looking for new customers in Asia, Europe, and Latin America. We are strengthening our own industries instead of depending so heavily on one market. In the long run, this could mean America loses some of the advantages it used to take for granted from the Canadian partnership. Mark Carney is playing chess while others are playing checkers. He's not burning bridges with the United States. He's simply building new ones everywhere else at the same time. He's turning external pressure into a national mission to build more housing, more energy projects, more defense manufacturing, and more resilient supply chains. This build agenda is exactly what Canada needs right now, and the tariffs may have unintentionally sped everything up. Think about it. Instead of making Canada weaker and more desperate, these tariffs are forcing us to become stronger, more diversified, and more self-reliant. That is the definition of a backfire. Carney didn't respond with anger or retaliation. He responded with vision, strategy, and quiet confidence. That polite but firm Canadian approach might just be the smartest way to handle this entire situation. So, what does the future look like? If Carney's plan works, and early signs are very positive, Canada will come out of this challenge much stronger than before. We will still trade heavily with the United States because geography and economics make that natural. But we will never again be overly dependent on just one partner. That is real resilience. What do you think about all this? Do you believe Trump's tariffs will ultimately backfire on the US? Or do you think Carney's strategy is the right move for Canada? Drop your honest thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one. If you're Canadian and this video fired you up, hit that like button, share it with your friends and family, and subscribe to the channel for more honest breakdowns on Canadian politics and economy.